All right. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Welcome back to Things You Ought to Know podcast. I am your co-host, Kelby Themati.
And I'm your other co-host, Erica Arnautovic. So we're going to, I think, just dive right in.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of really great content here with Stephanie Mellish, who is the director of Autism Strong Foundation. And we are really excited to have her on. So I think we're just going to kind of like dive right in, right?
Yeah.
So,
full transparency, we're bulk reporting, or I can't talk. We are bulk recording, and because we've got some things coming up. So you've already heard how our week has gone. You've heard Erica's crying on the floor on a Wednesday, and my spontaneous RBT not being there with my son in the afternoon. So so you've already heard how our week has gone.
This is going to be like traumatic though, because I'm gonna live this week now.
Oh yeah, well
that's okay. We're gonna live the week for you guys.
Yeah.
No. So, but yes, that was our week. We are bulk recording today, so we'll tune in the next time we really record together and keep you posted. But yeah, before we get started with Stephanie,
I have one update. So sorry, I didn't get to tell the listeners. But if you were wondering how Porter's foot is doing since we thought he broke it, we went to our follow-up appointment with the orthopedic doctor, and he said that it technically was fractured. It was a fracture on the top left of his foot, I think it was.
Okay.
But that it's something that has already showing healing, and so Porter doesn't have to wear the boot unless he's absolutely like being a menace with it, like if he's jumping off of things again. So this week he's been very happy to not have to have the boot at ABA therapy or at home. It's been helpful. So
good.
He's doing good.
And he's like not seeming like he's in pain or
not
anything
at
like
all.
That. Yeah, he's just going full speed,
but not detrimental to the foot. We're making sure.
Good. That's good.
But yes, he is going. So that is a little update for everybody.
Yeah, there we go.
On the last one.
There we go. I like that update.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's a better, like, happier part of the week. Yeah, I don't have any updates yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and invite Stephanie in so we can have the conversation, and we will see you on the flip side. Today we have Stephanie on the Things You Ought to Know podcast. We're excited to have you, Stephanie. Thank you so much. We're going to dive in to get to know a little bit more about her. But before we do, Erica's going to read a little bit about her background.
So yeah, we're thrilled to have her. So Stephanie is rarely spotted without a coffee in her hand. Me too, girl. Stephanie much prefers coffee shop chats to boardroom meetings. As a professional speaker, trainer, and consultant, she has dedicated expertise in sales, customer service, branding, and social marketing. From being an award-winning fundraiser to being crowned 2014 Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Woman of the Year, and a working background with the American Diabetes Association and Epilepsy Foundation of Western Ohio. Stephanie brings nearly 2 decades of nonprofit sector expertise and passion to ASF, which is the Autism Strong Foundation, because we all love acronyms. Kelby and I have delved into that a few times already. When she isn't training, writing, fundraising, or sipping caffeine, you'll find Stephanie playing with her 3 girls, 2 dudes, and trying to cut off her husband's modern mullet. Nice.
I have seen it in Instagram. It's impressive. I will give him that. My husband had a mullet for a little bit. He had a man bun, then he went mullet. Now he's just regular hair, but
it's... guys, we go out and there are the compliments that he gets on his beard and hair. It's like makes me want to vomit. The amount of people comment on it. I'm like, can we please stop? I'm like, it's just another one. It's gotten so bad that my dad, when he's here and hanging out with him, he'll like tell me, he'll be like, man, we were out today and like 3 people commented. I was like, I know, like, it's just annoying. But anyways, yes, if I can cut it off, I would. But he really loves it. So we're going to leave it. And the 2 dudes is our doodles.
But I was going to say, when you read it like that, I've got a golden doodle too. And I recognize we call her a dudette. She's a girl.
So cute. Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We're so excited to get to chat with you today and hear all about the Autism Strong Foundation and just like your experiences out in the communities. So because you see it much differently and on a much larger scale than what we see it. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
We'd love to get to kind of just know you as a person, though. I'm curious. You said you had worked in Ohio. Did you live there, grow up there? Are you from this area?
No, I grew up in Ohio, so about an hour north of Cincinnati in a little town called Troy. So grew up there and then came to the Carolinas for college and went to University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Gotta love UNCW and the beach. From landlocked little Ohio to the coast, it was a lot of fun and love my Ohio roots and Midwestern background, but I've officially lived in the Carolinas now for longer than I ever lived in Ohio. So I don't know which I should claim as home at this point. So
Yeah.
I'd say you're through and through a Carolina girl if you've lived here longer than Ohio.
I don't know. It's like part of me is like, oh no, I'm still a Buckeye. I think because my parents still live there, right? It's almost like that pull, but which is great to say. You know, we all love our parents, hopefully, and have good relationships with them. And when there's something about home being where mom and dad are, and we hope that, or I hope that with my girls, and I'm sure you guys feel that way with your kiddos as they grow. You hope that they say, well, home's where mom and dad are.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I hope that one day they come back. It's open door policy. That's what I'm going to tell them.
Yeah.
Doorbell.
Yes. I love it. I love that. Actually, I didn't know you were from Ohio until just reading this. I grew up in West Virginia and was a tennis player. So I was in Cincinnati, like Columbus, all over Ohio for tennis tournaments growing up. So,
did you ever go to the Western and Southern, which is like right beside Kings Island?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we used to do that every year, and we would do that, Kings Island, and then we would also do all of our back to school shopping every year in Columbus.
Oh, yeah, at like Easton?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. and there's plenty of Ohio people down here, so I mean, there's probably like, a large fraction of your listeners know what we're talking about. But okay, I just have to ask because we live in the area of Carowinds now. Which do you prefer, Kings Island or Carowinds?
That's interesting because I literally live 2 seconds from Carowinds. I mean, we're in Fort Mill right across the border. So, I don't think I can remember Kings Island well enough, I've never experienced it as an adult.
Okay.
So Kings Island was fun though. Mm-hmm. Carowinds, I really haven't done any of the big rides though because I'm always with my kids.
You gotta go on a date night.
My husband hates roller coasters. I just need to go by myself one time. Oh, okay, I'll take Calby.
Life is a roller coaster. We don't need to go.
He's like, I deal with your emotions enough. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
Girls night. You guys go do the podcast from Carowinds, like on the roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
We should. Yeah. We'll do like behind the scenes or something.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, yeah.
Well, now knowing a little bit more about you and how you got into the southeast region, how did you get connected into the autism community? Was it at first with Autism Strong Foundation? And if not, how was it?
Yeah, no, it was. It was with Autism Strong. But before it was Autism Strong, it was through the founders. So Becky and Rudy Toms, they're a local couple here based out of Waxhaw, North Carolina. And we, my husband and I, worked out with them doing CrossFit for quite a while. And Landon, who is the inspiration behind Autism Strong, at the time was only about 4. And had been diagnosed, and they wanted to kind of share their world, their behind the scenes, behind the doors of autism with their CrossFit family and community. And so they did a workout to raise a little bit of money, and but more to just like let people know what autism is and that it exists. And if you think about this, I mean, it's like 12 years ago, it really wasn't something that was overly talked about. It wasn't really out there. If you look at the statistics, we were talking closer to 1 in 150 children were diagnosed versus today being 1 in 36. So it was something that they wanted to do. And so from day one, from that very first event and being there as a participant and just getting to know their story better, that's how I was introduced into kind of this world of autism. And as they grew that event year after year, and I helped with the coordination and things like that, they got to a point where they wanted to start the foundation. And with my background being nonprofits, they asked if I would step on as a board member and really help navigate that process of becoming a 501c3. What does that look like? And so it's been fun to be kind of with them since the ground zero and the grassroots starting of something that has really become, I think, a nice movement in the Charlotte, greater Charlotte region now, and we're expanding throughout the Carolinas, for how we support families differently than other organizations that have existed and still exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk to us more about what that support looks like and what ways are you supporting the local communities?
Yeah, so I think that there's some organizations that do a wonderful job kind of staying in their lane and understanding what they're providing as far as education, resource advocacy, and things like that. But where Autism Strong wanted to come in and really differentiate was how can we make an impact with these families on what they're struggling with on the day to day. And it kept coming back to this conversation when I was really mind mapping this out with Becky and Rudy of like their fight years and years and years ago with insurance to get Landon covered and his therapies covered and things like that. And so it always kept coming back to the financials of, yeah, they fought and then finally got it covered. But what about these families? So at the time when we first started we had families that we were helping financially who didn't have their insurance, wouldn't cover it. Insurance has thankfully woken up a little, maybe. And they do a little bit more. And so with that, they are covering more, but it still can be an outrageous cost to a family, depending on what their out-of-pocket maximum is, what their deductibles are, what that looks like. And so we come alongside those families and financially support them. And while we've started as a financial support system, which we believe takes away that stress, right? One of the major stressors, we know a major reason for divorce is finances. Another major reason for divorce is having a child with special needs. So, you put those two things together and it's the perfect storm. So if we can remove one of those stressors, we know we're helping the family unit as a whole, not just the child who's getting the services. And then it's grown and evolved into more of just this wonderful community and support system. And we're evolving and constantly looking for new ways to continue to support the families that reside here. What else do they need help with? How else can we come alongside them? And we've really grown over the years with what it is that we're providing and doing with the community. So Landon's Hope is our, signature program. It's not going anywhere. But we've evolved out of that. And now we do things like our Christmas program. We're doing parent advocacy grants. We do emergency fund grants. We do we have a partner that's doing a college scholarship for those who are on the spectrum and are accepted into a university, that they can get a nice scholarship from us for that. So it's really exciting to see our conference, which is where I met you guys, right? That's another way that we've grown and what our support is, it's not just about the kids, it's how are we supporting the parents, and what their needs are. And so, I don't know. I think I just babbled for a little bit, but that's that's who we are.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, you answered it beautifully.
You can babble because you're doing so much. That's really good.
Yeah.
You are expanding so much into your services. You're right. We did meet you at the Connect Strong. Prior to that, though, I had just kind of found you through Instagram, and I had moved from the Boston area back into my hometown area in South Carolina, and I was just looking for community, just anybody else walking this journey that can someone help me and try to get plugged in. And I think I just hashtagged autism, and Autism Strong Foundation came up, and I was like, oh, they're doing this, and oh, they've got a conference coming up. Oh, Erica, you should go to the conference with me. And so it's really cool how just in your social media marketing too, how you are expanding into the masses that way. I'm just personally curious, are you just going to be servicing the Carolinas, or is there a goal to expand outside of the states?
Ooh,
Big
hey,
question.
good question. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? The vision right now, well, it's twofold. We are already servicing outside of the Carolinas, through one specific program, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. We have the greater Charlotte region makes up 14 counties right around Charlotte, right? Mecklenburg County. And that goes down into South Carolina, and that's our main hub. And then we have recently expanded over into the Raleigh-Durham Research Triangle area and are supporting Wake County and the 3 counties that surround Wake. And then this fall, we are shooting over to Asheville, and we're going to start supporting the Asheville region. And those growth opportunities have been very organic, and have happened because of individuals who have came to us, really gotten to know the foundation, and then said, hey, we want you to come to our area and we'll support you in those efforts. Fantastic. However, long term, the growth is wonderful when it is organic like that. We're not forcing this. And so I do think if you would have told me in January that I'd be running 3 markets instead of 1, I would have told you were crazy. So it's fantastic, but we got to take a breath and make sure that we can do what we need to for these areas. Long-term wise, I definitely see us continuing to support the Carolinas. But there is something to be said about we want to support local. And if we get too big, I think we lose the core of who we are. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one of the things when we talk to some of our sponsors and our grants and individuals that we're working with, that's a key differentiator for why they want to support us, is they know that the dollars they're giving us is literally going to help a friend, a neighbor, a colleague, employee. The dollars go directly back into their area, their community. And that's the other thing we're being very specific about, is even though we're expanding to Raleigh, what we raise in Raleigh is going to stay in Raleigh. It's a separate budget line item. And same with Asheville. So whatever the Asheville community is able to contribute to us is what we're going to pour back into that community, which is really cool. So we're keeping it consistent across the board. But there is something as we grow and grow and grow that it could lose some of that feel, because there isn't somebody there on the boots on the ground, really making sure that people understand that that's who we are and what we're doing. We do, however, have a national program. So if for some reason you have people listening who are outside of the Carolinas, we have an event. The event that started it all, AMRAP for Autism, is actually able to be ran across the country. So this year already, we've done over 50, I think, events across the country at different workout facilities, and they sign up and we send them everything they need to host their own fitness fundraiser for us. And to stay consistent with our core mission values, we have them identify a local organization that they want us to then give the money back to. So we are supporting organizations across the country that support autism through that program. And so that's a small way that we are kind of taking the Autism Strong idea and what we're trying to do and spreading it across the United States, which is exciting.
I know
really exciting.
We are a glutton for healthcare is a glutton for acronyms, but CrossFit and its CrossFit community is a glutton for. I know I'm familiar with AMRAP, but can you tell like our listeners what does that stand for in case they're
so fun. AMRAP means as many rounds as possible or as many reps as possible, depending on who you talk to. It can go either way. But it's a 32-minute grueling workout that I do not recommend anybody go and do unless they really want to cry. It's terrible. And my favorite years that I've ever ran that event were the years that I was pregnant and unable to participate in that.
Yes.
Right. I was like, oh, no. The one year I was literally 39 weeks pregnant, like at the event. I swear AMRAP is what started me into labor, like all the walking that I did that day and everything. But yes, definitely something that if you like sweating, it's a fantastic event to get involved with. But we don't make it easy because autism isn't easy, and so
I love that.
This is 32 minutes of your life that you're like maybe struggling. Think about what these kids might be struggling with.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you didn't extend it to 36 minutes for the 1 in 36.
Well, okay. So the 32's been around since day one, and it's because Landon and his twin sister Addison were born at 32 weeks.
Oh,
okay, that's cool.
I was gonna say that's a unique number to choose. So I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad that you explained that.
We always make the reps the statistic of the year. So like right now, the AMRAPs that are happening across the country, they're doing 36 reps because of the 1 in 36, which we have seen, 44 was the previous year, right? And then 58. And so this year in Charlotte, for the big event, we're doing it's going over the last 5 years statistics that were released. So one movement is 69, one's 58, then 44, then 36. But there's always significant meaning towards what we put together in that workout.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I love that. I want to go to the next one. When is the next one?
August 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be at CrossFit Mecklenburg here in Charlotte, and Sugar Creek Brewery is providing nice ice cold beer for when you're done and you need something to be refreshed with. And no, it's a lot of fun. It is. You grab a partner because it's a partner workout. That's the other great thing. You're not out there. You're not doing it alone. It's really providing community and bonding experiences.
Okay.
I'll be your
My husband says that he is allergic to exercise other than what he does for a living, which is tennis. So yeah, I need you'll have to be my partner.
No, I'm part of a local CrossFit box. And my husband, we have the whole gamut workout at all the stuff in our garage, so he does it from there. So between me and we'll guide you along. I'm no CrossFit fanatic by any chance, because there's plenty of those too. But
Yes.
I enjoy a good workout.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in.
Awesome. Yes.
See you there.
Yes. Not working out.
Yeah, I know. I may just stuff my shirt with a pillow or something. I'm so sorry, I'm pregnant, but I just came to support. So
well, we want to pick your brain a little outside of the Autism Strong Foundation, but to round that out for us, could you give us what's a memorable moment, like your most impactful moment to date? It's been years that you've been working in this space, so if you probably have many stories that you can share with us, but what's one that like sticks out to you that how ASF has impacted its local communities?
Um, there's so many, and you guys were at Connect Strong, and one of the things with Connect Strong is we gave out books from our keynote speaker, and I created bookmarks, and the bookmark I put on there, autism has infinite stories. And, I would say that kind of mirrors my experience with this is every time I talk to a parent or somebody who is going through this journey, their story is just so unique and different from any other story. Now there's similarities in those stories, but truly it's pretty interesting to hear consistently again and again. I think probably the most heartbreaking thing that I hear, and unfortunately I hear on the regular, is that once the diagnosis is received or shortly before, and then it's confirmed, right? The suspicions that they think this is what's happening, is that feeling of isolation. Feeling like they're alone, and then not knowing where to turn, not understanding the resources that are available. And it doesn't, our government and schools don't make it easy. I mean, I feel like you need like a PhD to understand some of the stuff that's out there, and that to really truly understand how the process works and what you're doing. But that feeling of isolation and just like you're on an island by yourself is heart wrenching and heartbreaking to me, because I've learned, and then the most heartwarming thing after the heart wrenching is that this community is so amazing and so accepting. And once you find it, then it's like, oh, you were here all along. You just didn't know where to look or how to find these people and have those relationships and friendships that they just get it, right? And so being able to facilitate that camaraderie and companionship between individuals who are on this journey has been something that really is just a highlight for me with the foundation. Being able to plug people in and know, like, if you're a part of ASF, you're a part of this bigger family. That's just, and we call it a family. We are a family, and if you don't like to hug, don't come near me, because I'll probably end up giving you a hug at some point. But we want people to feel welcome and included, and like you're not alone. You're not. There are so many people struggling and walking this and don't know what it's going to look like, what the next day is going to look like. They don't know, maybe how they're going to pay for something or what the next step is going to be. But there's other people that you can lean on. You just have to find that tribe. And hopefully if a listener's listening to this, that also means they've taken a step to find that tribe. And I would say don't hesitate to like reach out to people. Some of the most beautiful friendships and relationships I've seen is from people just, taking a chance to say, hey, I'm going through what you're going through. Do you want to talk?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was me. I made her be my friend in the exam.
I wanted to be her friend too. I was like, do I have to go see more patients, or can I just stay here and talk to you?
I literally in the exam room said to Erica, I was like, hey, I ran plenty of these clinics. Like, I know you're behind now just from talking to me. Do I need to let you go? I'm so sorry. And then I walked out of there and I told my husband, I was like, I'm making her be my best friend now. I have an option.
She didn't have to twist my arm too hard. Yeah, I love like what you said, because so you said like other people who just get it. That was in our trailer.
Mhm.
That was something that I felt like, we just get it. We just wanted to be other moms that were relatable, but bring a little bit of education that, we've learned on our journeys and just with our healthcare background. Because like you said, you almost need a PhD to navigate the government system, but the medical system, the medicine system is, I mean, like as a part of it, I say like we got a problem, folks.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
And there's so many wonderful people in the medical community. It's not the people in it, it's just the way, the overlay of it right now, and all the red tape that's there. So I love that you guys are kind of one of those bridges between like me and the family. Cause
Yeah.
like your financial support can, you know, kind of bridge that gap and cut that red tape for a family who maybe couldn't see me. And I love that, because that is such a need. I have families right now that I'm thinking of. I want to, like, you know, can you help? So, yeah.
Yeah. Autismstrong.org.
Yeah.
Find what you need. Help them.
So go on, walk us through that process really quickly. Just like if we have families listening who are like, oh, that's me, what would they do to get a grant?
Okay, so our signature grant, Landon's Hope Scholarships, which provides a year worth of therapy services to a family. Those open in September on the website. You can go to autismstrong.org. You'll go under the apply button and you can see all of our grants there right now, and it will tell you if they're open or closed. So you can see all the services that we provide from that standpoint. You can also see all of our events, which I think are just as important, because that's an opportunity to be around community and be involved with other families and parents. But you know, the grant process, Landon's Hope, we only open once a year. It's in September. It runs until like the middle of October, depending on how our applications are coming through. And then we close it out, and so that we have time to review all the applications and let the families know that have been selected, that they've been selected, and then they become one of our families for the following year. So we'll be opening for our 2024 grants, which will financially support all of 2025 coming up in September. But currently right now, we have parent advocacy grants available. The college scholarship is open right now for applications on the website. And then our emergency grant is currently on hold, because unfortunately we had such an overwhelming need for our emergency fund that it's currently being waitlisted, because we are shifting or adjusting finances to hopefully be able to support more families for the second half of the year. It's crazy to think just so you guys know, the idea of, is there a need for the support? We doubled our emergency fund from last year to this year, what I budgeted for it, and yet we still depleted it I've had it turned off since April.
So within the first quarter of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's and those emergency grants are for families who are needing a diagnosis, right? And so emergency, like they can't afford the diagnosis process, and so we can help with that. Or they've just gotten diagnosed and they're wanting to start therapy services, but they can't afford it, right? So that initial like gut punch of, okay, cool, we can get you set up and started, but it's going to cost you this, and they're going, we don't have that available, right? And then it's the other type of emergencies. You know, these are the families that sometimes come to us because they're one of the most heart-wrenching, and I know you already used that word, but maybe a temperature check for everybody is when, you know, a mom applies and it's because she literally doesn't have food for her family for the weekend. She's like, I just need to get through the weekend. Is there some way you can help me? And so we're also providing those types of services as well. You know, food relief, bill pay relief. We don't want anybody's electric being shut down, or water being turned off because, you know, they are doing the best that they can for their child who has special needs. And we know that that can be outrageously expensive on a family.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I work with a population. I have a lot of single parents,
Yeah.
You know, single mom situations. And, you know, when you have those situations and then you have a kiddo who's getting kicked out of daycares left and right, and you're losing your job, that was, you know, a lower socioeconomic job to start with, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, and all of a sudden you've missed a month of paychecks because you can't get your kid, you have no childcare because of the special needs. That is, I deal with that quite a bit, where, they get evicted. And then, not only is that traumatizing for the mom and any other family members, but that child with special needs just got out of another routine. And I mean, a big setback developmentally I've seen whenever that does happen. So I love that you guys see that side of it as well and foster that side of it, because that is definitely my heart and my population. They are all at risk, or not all, but a big percentage of them are at risk for things like that. So I love that you see that side.
Absolutely. And we have strong partnerships. We try and collaborate as much as possible with other organizations. And so there's lots of referrals also, is like, hey, maybe we have a great relationship with Beds for Kids. So when our Christmas families come through, if they're asking for beds, which we've had every single year, multiple families ask for that. We're able to refer them over to our nonprofit partner with Beds for Kids, and they automatically take the families from us. They don't ask for anything else. They just take care of them, and it's amazing. And so, being able to work on that in that collaborative nature with other organizations, crisis assistant ministry. There's so many great organizations in Charlotte that are able to also provide specific needs to the community, that maybe we end up being the bridge that gets them from, somehow they find us, but we can bridge the gap to get them to who they actually need to be with in order to get those services provided for as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So needed.
So needed.
I'm just thinking, I'm just knowing a little bit of what you did walking into this conversation, and then now knowing more of what you do, it is hugely impactful for this area. So and for it to be a nonprofit at the same time, there's that has in itself things that has to be managed in a certain way per the rules and regulations and all that fun stuff. So it's I'm sure it's just a lot to manage. So thank you for your service to the autism community. From, I can probably say, from both of us, just from Autism Moms. That conference alone was
amazing.
We needed that.
Yes.
We desperately needed that.
Yeah, that was.
I teased with you guys, like, I don't know, but no, we're totally bringing it back.
Okay, yes. I was going to say, because
don't worry. So if you're listening, we're gonna be back. It will either be late March or early April next year. But just because of, there's such thing as this like floating holiday that's really annoying to navigate around. Easter is a lot of fun because spring break's always around it, but I'm like, it's never consistent. And so, last year we got to be at the end of April, but that's because I think Easter was March 30th or something. And now Easter coming up is going to be April 20th. So I'm like, okay, we got
to maneuver around this.
My son's birthday is April 10th, and that we have to navigate Easter around birthday parties and all that. And I'm like, I love you, Lord, but it'd be good if we could stay consistent on the name.
Okay, figure out the math of like it's supposed to, like, it's 40 days, but why is Ash Wednesday always different? And then the 40 days, it just seems like, how can 40 days seem like 3 weeks apart from each other? I don't know. I still haven't figured it out.
I don't know.
The math ain't mathin'.
Yeah,
it's not, like, I think I have a pretty, like, I mean, I know how to count, and it still just doesn't make sense.
I love it.
I know how to count. Yeah, I think we all have those days where it's like, can I count?
Even
if it's on my fingers.
Yeah. Like dosage calculations sometimes, like, and 1, 2.
Girls will tell you she knows how to count to 3.
What's the mom count?
The mom count. I love it.
Well, we got a lot of information from you about Autism Strong Foundation. Before we dive into our segment of things you think the world ought to know, is there anything else, like, that you, being a part of the community, see on Abundance that you feel like there needs to be more resources towards, or just, from two moms. Like, I know you've got a list also there, but
you're like, that's a loaded question.
I keep bringing you loaded questions. Sorry.
Well, I think this will fit into like what you ought to know as well.
Okay.
And something that, I'm developing a passion for. I've always been a passionate person around, and I'm not going to talk about the debate last night, but when it comes to politics, right? So the advocacy for change. There are so many unfortunate issues with our healthcare system, with our education system, when it comes to supporting these kiddos. And so the only way to really create long-term systemic change is through advocacy. And so one of the things with that I've seen really as I've dug into the ED role and been a part of this community is we just need more advocates. So people out there speaking up, attending meetings, getting involved in your local government, getting involved in your local community, your local school systems. And I think so many people take a back seat of like, you can't like fight the man or you can't fight the machine and it's too big and I'm just one person and I can't do anything about it. And I would say the one thing that you ought to know is if we want to create long-term change for autism, it's going to take as many voices as possible standing up against everybody and saying, no, this doesn't work for us. This isn't right. And things need to be adjusted. And so if you see, right, an opportunity that there's a meeting that you can be a part of to voice, like be a part of that. If you see, like a petition going around or you hear about, somebody that's wanting to work towards getting statewide changes, definitely like lean into that because that's where you can pay it, backwards, you can pay it forwards, whatever. Like there are so many times it's going to take a long time to make monumental change, but don't be selfish on thinking, well, it's not going to help me right now. So what's the point? Like think through like, no, the injustice in general, the people that came before you, like what if they would have fought for this? Then what would you be dealing with right now? And how do you not reach backwards and pull those people up? Right. There's just such an opportunity to advocate for change. And our founder, Rudy, he has, I'll grab it. I can see one of them over here. He, loves the quote, be the change, and so we've put it on t-shirts. This one's a little kid one. This is not like shrunken. It's a little kid one. But anyways, we have our Be the Change shirts and it's just kind of become a motto for the foundation. We have it on sweatshirts and we actually, oh my gosh, we have a Spanish version coming out for a Spanish event that we're going to. So that's here first, right? You guys heard it here first. But anyways, really that's it. So you can be the change. And the only way that we create that change is all coming together. But one voice can make such a difference. It really can. And if you're willing to step up and be that voice, like you'll sleep better at night. Like just feel a little bit better about, you know what, today I did good.
That's truly an incredible piece of advice. I think for parents, for like medical professionals, because we're all good at like sitting, at home to our spouses or to like our friends on the side and saying, telling our opinions. But like, okay, well, let's take that opinion and let's foster it into something where we can do something, good with it. So I think that's such a needed mindset change. So great piece of advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would to piggyback off of what you said, like to get plugged in and to find that community. Something that I have recently been a part of is I'm a creator and admin of the local special needs Facebook page for the it serves as just necessarily the city that I'm in, but how many moms have come on there and asked a question, and then so many moms flock with information of, oh, or I'm a part of a couple in the area, so you'll see like I'm on a IEP meeting. Does anyone know someone that can help? And then you've got a gamut of, I say, autism motherhood is the best hood to be a part of, because we are fierce, we are feisty, and we will fight for whoever we need to fight for. And I find that, so like, to piggyback off of what you were saying of things that you ought to know, something tangible that you can get into very quickly is like a local Facebook group, because those moms will come up to bat for you almost every single time.
Yeah. Like with my diagnostic stuff, even I'll say, like I said it on the diagnostic podcast that just came out. And it was, look, if once I had Luca settled in all his therapies and all his, resources that he needed, I was not only his mama bear, but like I'm like the mama bear for all my patients. I will like I try to always, you kill more flies with honey, right, than vinegar. Is that what the saying is? Bees? Flies? Bees?
You get more bees with honey.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, we don't want to kill the bees. It's
right. Yes. You catch more bees with honey than you do vinegar. Yeah, but I will no, that's not right. We're not going to do it that way. Like, let's figure out plan B, because plan A isn't going to work for us. Yeah. So I love that. Mm-hmm. That was your piece of advice, because is so needed in this community. And we were, just talking to Kayla, the travel mom too, and she was telling us that, we dubbed her the IG OG, like the Instagram, OG, because had the moms before us not, started to pave the way to build this community, we would be 10 steps behind where we stand today. So we have to be so thankful for them, and we have to kind of now, like you said, pay it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love it.
It's going great. I mean, this is awesome. Everybody listening should be grateful that you guys, took that. Going back to what you just said of, there's one thing to share opinions. It's another thing to take those opinions and put action behind them. So, you guys probably talked for quite a while about wanting to help this community and what could that look like, and then taking the action to do this podcast. I mean, kudos to you guys, because, we just need more people out there sharing their stories and going to battle for these kiddos, because they deserve equal and fair treatment across the board.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you.
We
appreciate
so much.
You recognizing that.
Yeah.
Funny little tidbit is we are going to dive head in first and just go for it. And so
impulsive, maybe.
I came to her with the idea for the podcast and with a name, and she was like, all right, let's meet next week and start it. And so it took us a 2-month running span to get it up and running. But once we did, we were there. But
our best conversations happen in an exam room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to my boss.
I know. Well, if you could let our listeners know how to find you on social media, if you do some advocacy and tie it into ASF, and then also how to find Autism Strong, and then the handles, I will link those down in the notes for the podcast, so you can find those easily and accessible for everyone.
Yeah, so I think autismstrong.org, and then Autism Strong Foundation across the board. On any of the platforms, you'll find us on social media if you just type in Autism Strong Foundation. And then for me personally, I think I'm on Instagram with my maiden name. So it's Stephanie Mellish like relish. That's the easiest way to explain it. So you can find me on there. I'm probably also linked through if you go on the ASF page and find me that way. But no, this has been fantastic. The ability to just chit chat with you guys is so much fun, and I'm excited that I'll actually see you guys and hug you soon. But yeah, can we make sure that everybody knows? Listen, if you're in the area, the big one. So I know fitness may not be everybody's thing, but a really good festival with food, beer, and wine is, I think, everybody's thing, and that you can bring your kids at. Our Build Strong Festival is coming up in October. It's at Symphony Park. Would love to have as many families turn out as possible. We are a very low threshold ticket price for all of our Spectrum families. And we have special hours just for you guys. And we were looking at the statistics from last year, and we had over 200 kiddos attend of our nearly 2,000. So 10% of our festival goers were children on the spectrum, which is amazing. And we just make for that. So talking about finding your community and being around people who get it, like our festival is not just an event for autism, like raising money for autism. It's about an event for you guys to be there and be a part of and like find your community. So really hope that everybody will come out to Build Strong and see us there.
Well, we will definitely be there, as you know. So yeah, we can't wait to be a part of that. We're so excited. So, yeah, I agree. Everybody come out, and we'll see you at the AMRAP. I may be not pregnant or pregnant.
Right. Depending on how hot it is that day. It's
correct. Good point.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 103 out. I'm
pregnant. So
I'm gonna clip that and send it to your husband and see what kind of heart attack I give him.
Yeah. I made these things real fast.
Well, thanks again, Stephanie. We really appreciate you coming on and giving this information. As the foundation continues to grow, we'd love to have you back on and highlight some new opportunities for our local communities. But we'll go ahead and sign off. We hope our listeners have a great weekend. Happy Friday, everyone, and see you next Friday.
See you next time.
Bye.